I wow. Wow. It yelled at me. Hey,
We're the
welcome to another corner conversation on Second
on
Kings.
Second Kings.
Are we in
Yes,
Second Kings this week?
we are in Second Kings this
Okay.
week.
Yeah, we just finished First Kings and now we
Yeah.
are First Kings is over. Second
You
Kings.
know, we're into Second Kings, and it's interesting because we always name our when we're writing out our sermons, we
Yeah.
name it and we say week one, week two. And I was so confused because I was like thinking
Why
we
is
were
this
like
week
on
one?
week three. Well, I was thinking we were going to be week 13
12.
or 12.
Yeah.
And it was week one. And all of a sudden, so I started doing things, and
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, there's a week one.
Yeah, right.
I did.
Yeah, right.
Don't yeah, right me.
Whatever is fine.
We've spent a lot of time together in the last 2 days.
So one thing maybe people don't know
Maybe.
is that um there are a lot of we have 5 coffee shops,
Mhm.
right?
That's busy. We thankfully have
Yep. And then
table managers
we
because
do. And
otherwise
so
they'd be crying.
our pastoral team really, not our pastoral, our corner coffee management team
Mhm.
and baristas, they handle 99% of
We just
more.
come in to like when we
Save
have
the
to save the
day.
day. Yeah.
Save the day.
Which
And
is kind of fun because you get to be the hero.
I'm
So
glad
it's
you think
actually
you get to be here.
Usually-
It's
I
sometimes
said that, but I was
Mm.
like, that's not always how it feels.
yeah, the being a hero usually comes with some degree of inconvenience.
Yeah.
You have a plan and a schedule for a day,
Yes,
and then you
yeah.
can't.
But that's 99% of our days,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out how to be more structured. And I generally
I'm
am
so glad we're recording this right now.
well, I'm telling and
Yep.
telling you. But I'm generally also try to be really flexible. And I think that's necessary in our work. You're a snotty person. If you're listening and not watching,
Yeah.
he made some faces.
Of course.
But like I am trying to be more structured because I think because I am naturally flexible with my schedule. I don't know if I'm a flexible person, but I can be flexible with my schedule. I can move things around so much that I'm overcommitted, and then I'm
doing if you need me to do a voiceover, I'm doing a slow nod.
He's being kind of a snot over there, but it's fine.
Okay, so sometimes some people could have a moment where they say yes to more than there's capacity to do.
Yeah, we
Some
do that a
people-
lot. We do.
We
You are also included. You don't think? Are you saying I
I've
don't?
never
I'm not
had a scheduling issue in my life.
Lies.
Uh,
I saw his eyes glaze over this morning because all of a sudden.
yeah, it's true. There can be
exploded.
it's a terrible parallel. Shouldn't use it as a parallel. It's probably inappropriate. But
We'll see.
If some of you are old enough, you're old enough by far, to remember when George Bush Jr. was
Mhm.
reading a story
Oh, yeah.
to elementary kids, and then
Oh.
he was whispered in his ear.
And his eyes
about
changed.
September 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So I feel like that's true in everybody's life, that
Yeah.
you can be in the middle of anything.
Reading kids'
and then,
stories.
Yeah. And it's actually kind of a contemporary or modern innovation is that everybody receives lots of updates and information all the time, and you can't escape it.
Yeah, it is constant.
And it's a rare moment when you would be like with friends or with family,
Yeah.
and you just say, I'm completely disconnected. And I think about that as time off or vacation or
Yeah.
evenings. When you somebody communicates with you, there's an expectation to communication back. All
the time.
Yeah. And so there was a time in modern history when people would get a busy signal or no
Yes.
answer.
I love it.
And
I
when
miss it.
and it wasn't
The expectation wasn't that
it wasn't
everyone could answer
text
the
wasn't an
phone all
option.
the time. Yeah. And that's not true anymore. You're always available.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I think that does a lot of people a disservice. Like
Yeah.
there are times where you have to not respond right away, but when you don't, the other side is like, why are you ignoring me? But that's
Yeah.
not intentional all the time.
Yeah, and so
our dynamic.
while today, again, we were talking about the 5 coffee shops and
Yeah.
how the managers
We spend
do
a lot of
everything.
times
But
together.
there's also, we have 2 espresso carts,
Yeah.
and which get used a lot. And
A
our
lot.
pastoral team does a lot of those events.
Mhm.
less, we're starting to be
Yeah,
strategic in doing less, but yesterday we did one
in
out of
Walmart.
out of the city, which is takes a lot of time.
It was fun, but it was like a 2 hour drive
Yeah.
there, 2 hour drive home.
Yep. And then today, while doing a teacher appreciation event, which is my
This was
favorite,
more fun. Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
But at that same time, I got about 25 text messages asking me questions about stuff and different things that were
Yeah.
happening. And so anyway, I felt like I had the George Bush
Yeah,
face.
you did. It was all of a sudden something had shifted.
Yeah.
So, and I also like, I feel those things. We were talking about
Yeah.
this yesterday. Like I am constantly reading the room, which is not healthy, but it's just accurate of my life.
Not
of my
necessarily
background.
well. You were
Oh, no,
getting a read of the room.
I think I do it pretty well, actually. You think I don't?
No, that's great.
We okay. We don't have to argue about this on podcast. But I'm constantly reading the room. And so I do, like, I generally knew that there was stress happening, but I also want to make sure that I haven't done anything to add to the stress.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, hey, sorry if I was snotty if I just want to make sure we're okay.
You were snotty.
And then I did say something kind of snarky.
Really?
Once. I did, but it was.
I never hear those things. So.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. I never hear. Do you hear people ever say little under comment? You do?
Yeah.
Or you don't? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm really good at reading the room. So
yeah, he also is really good at reading the room. He just cares less.
Oh, that
True.
might be.
It's not a bad thing.
I just try to compartmentalize, which may or may not be a good thing.
No, it's not. It's good and bad.
Yeah, because you would always more likely assume that it was you.
I would assume it's me, and even if it's
I would correctly assume whatever.
You would correctly assume it's not him.
No. I would correctly assume when it is or when it isn't.
You can differentiate.
But today, 2 Kings. So 1 Kings, we really focused on an overarching theme of there's hope amidst failure. Yeah. And that was built from David alive to the end of 1 Kings. Ahab was the king. And so
can we pause for just a second?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be muted? Can you hear anything?
Yeah.
Okay, great. No, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, we can keep going now. Yeah. I just didn't want to know if I wanted to know if we had to start over.
Just if you can't hear Rachel, it was intentional. You're wearing a microphone.
I know, but I all of a sudden it's a different microphone than we normally use, so I was nervous. But okay.
And so from David, who is highly revered, had his crazy issues.
He wasn't great. Yeah. Even though he was great, he wasn't. He did some great things.
That's a beautiful part of biblical narrative, is that God loving, passion, empowering, trusting people that have issues. Because even you, I hope you don't have David level issues.
Oh, he made some big mistakes.
Yeah. And so from David to Ahab, who was repeatedly declared as the worst. Yeah.
It also starts in 1 Kings where like great King David is king and he's great, but he is so weak in the beginning. Like by the time we get to 2 King or 1 Kings, David is not. Yeah, no, he's not the David. He's a shadow of himself. Yeah. Yeah. And so the hope amidst failure is, and the narrative of 1 Kings points that hope is found in relationship with God. It's in his stability, his character, his resilience, his trusting, and the point of coming out of, again, the story of David is that it could have built a narrative where, hey, we've got great kings and they're going to keep getting better and better and better. And our, I'm saying our for the kingdom of Israel, but it could be for us, is that our, that we would say things being good, things having hope, is by a greater and a better and a solid king or culture and system. They weren't even, they were like, when we talk about hopes amidst failure, they weren't ever supposed to actually have kings. Yeah. That wasn't the way they were supposed to be set up. Yep. And then they begged for it. Like I always feel like it's that middle school moment where you want to be just like all the other kingdoms. Like they begged to have kings, and the kings did fail. Even the great kings. Solomon was great and he failed. And over again, they failed. And it was like, it keeps reminding us that, like, yes, there's hopes amidst failure, and also like hope isn't in the kings. Yeah, like hope is in God. It's supposed to shift. Yeah, that was the intention. It is remarkable. Again, the character of God is that could spiral back to the pre-King Saul moment, and every failure could be coupled together with
I told you so. I told you so. But God doesn't.
No,
God doesn't do that.
no.
And so we come to Second Kings, and the spiral of failure continues. But the thing that will it's not just an extension of like they did bad, they did bad, they did bad. But it builds this picture of persisting, and it's interesting just thinking about it in anything. Like if you say that about physical fitness, but the inverse of physical fitness. So you can say I'm really persisting in my physical fitness and not being fit, persisting in doing that. Or and it could be the positive, or you could say in relationship, I'm persisting in having broken relationships, or I'm persisting in having healthy relationships. And the thing that I think becomes more and more apparent in this text is that without intentionality, we're going to persist, but it may not be the persisting that is healthy or even what that you want. And so we see that repeatedly through the narratives. There are people that are persistent in turning back to or turning to God, and there are people that are persisting, and it's just like you read the story and you go, really? They knew, they saw the consequences for the generation before, but they persisted to build altars to false gods. They persisted to not listen to God, and they persisted to destroy or defame the prophets. Like, and so like that again, there's a lot of intentionality and persisting exists.
Yeah. And is it how do you say it? I always say it wrong. Ahaziah? Ahaziah?
Yeah, that's good.
Was it? But like he is persisting in like he needs to, he fell off. I love it. He fell through the lattice.
So this is the last words of First Kings, the last chapter, last verses. It says that Ahab dies and his son Ahaziah becomes king, and he persisted in doing evil in the eyes of the Lord. And then Second Kings.
So
let's tell the story.
So Ahaziah, he was first. It says Moab was rebellious, and then Ahaziah is in Samaria, and he falls off a balcony and through the lattice and hurts himself. And he's like, am I going to make it through this? And so he sends one of the officials to go to Baal-Zebub, which I think is one of the false gods. Because then he's also the son of Ahab and Jezebel. So Jezebel also was worshiping a lot of false gods. So that's what he knows. And so that's who he goes after. And he meets Elisha, or the official meets Elisha on the way.
Elijah kind of intercepts
Elijah. Elijah intercepts him, and he was like,
is his MO, just appears.
He does over and over again. It's so funny. He just is there. And he was like, he's a little sarcastic and a little biting. Like, so are you saying, so because there's no God of Israel, you're going to Baal-Zebub and asking him if you're going to survive? And because of that, you're going to die.
To the king. And so this is, again, to feel that, like it's so easy to think in this narrative, wow, so here the king, he has a grave bodily injury. He's apparently has some trajectory towards not making it. And then again, he turns to a false god to get an answer. Am I going to make it or not? And then, but you bring that to our own life, our own experience. When things are challenging, or you have a day where things are exploding. And it isn't necessarily doesn't have to be to the scale like, well, I don't even know who Beelzebub is, and so I guess I'm not doing anything wrong. But instead to realize that instead of to have a heart of seeking the character of God in Scripture, how do I be Christ-like in this decision, as opposed to just going, what do I feel? Or how do I find wise counsel, as opposed to just doing whatever seems easiest. It's so easy to put this blame on this king who turned away from God. But I mean, this narrative is to show to us is that, hey, don't you see that's an option for you?
Over and over again. Over and over again. He goes once, and then after he goes one time, he sends another captain with 50 people to do the same thing. And then Elijah.
I love it is that, so the initial messenger comes back quickly and says, and the king goes, what do
Yeah.
To go to Beelzebub was a couple-day journey. You're back instantly.
Yeah.
I think there's what a funny moment. And he says, "Oh, I bumped into Elijah." Oh,
Yeah. The
yeah.
enemy of his father, because isn't that Ahab? Didn't he say that? Oh, there's my enemy.
Yep.
And so that's what he thinks.
For sure.
And instead, like Ahab, like in just the last chapter, when Elijah tells him he's gonna die, he humbles himself.
Yep.
He is remorseful, he repents, all these things.
Yep.
And then instead, Ahab, opposite of that, he sends another captain with 50 more people
Not
to
Ahab.
go. Not Ahab, Ahaziah.
Ahaziah does. Yeah. And
And
next
they-
round of messengers.
and-
They have an interaction. How does that go?
With Elijah, it doesn't go so well. They go, "Man of God, come down." He's on a hill, and they were like, "Man of God, come down." They're a little arrogant, a little commanding, and instead he just like sends fire, and they all.
So this is Elijah. He apparently had a skill set, which was calling fire from
Fire from heaven,
heaven.
yeah.
And I don't want to be dismissive of the theology of that, but
Yeah.
I do think that Elijah was part of that equation. He was not deity and he had opportunity to fail. And so I don't know.
I don't know. No.
I don't know if this was really
What was supposed to be.
Yeah. I do think, and every time we have one of these types of moments in scripture, I think it really points to the power of our words.
Yeah.
Like I think that, again, this is turned to 11,
Yeah.
but we can, again, scale back. Somebody comes to us and we are a little spicy in our interaction. And we think, listen, I'm just trying to say it like it is. And Elijah was saying it like it was, and it cost people their lives.
Yeah.
And we could say, well, I'm not calling fire from heaven. Am I not? Am I
Yeah.
not?
We all have moments.
Yeah. And so again, there's obviously this is an extreme scenario,
Yeah.
but it points to the power of words.
Yes. Yeah.
And so 50 die.
Nobody mourns them though either. So it's not like, so they're gone.
Yep.
Nobody, the captain's gone, the people are gone. And it doesn't stop Ahaziah. There's no pausing to mourn all these people that are lost. He just sends another captain with 50 more people. The commander is more arrogant, more like, come down and you man of God. If you're a man of God, like there's a little sarcasm on both sides.
Yep.
And the same thing happens.
Yep. Power of words, power of they're consumed by fire, they die. And so King obviously learns.
Yeah. Or the captains are like, oh, crud, I have to. So then he sends a third captain up.
So the king didn't learn.
That was me being. Oh, yeah. So the king did learn. And again, there's no mourning of these lives lost, at least not in the story.
No.
There's no mourning. And he's definitely not changing because he sends another captain with another 50 people.
So fool me once, shame on me.
Fool me twice,
shame on me.
Fool me once, shame on you, right?
Yeah.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Fool me three times. You
just keep digging that hole.
Yeah.
But the third time, the captain is much more humble. He's like, please respect my life.
Yeah. I don't know. Hurt me. I think it could be humble. I think it's just like fearful, right?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, that seems like a little bit of humility, but either way, fearful for sure. And he's like, please spare my life. Please don't do this thing to me that you did to the other captains. Yeah. And Elijah does. And he does still go back. He goes back with them.
He says, well, since the 50 of you are still alive.
Yeah.
Go back and tell the king.
Go tell the king that the king is still gonna die. The king is gonna die from his injuries. And I'm a little lost where I was, but he does die right away, right? Like, is it almost immediately? Mm-hmm. And that was what happens. It just ends. Like, he dies. Yeah.
And so the part of this, again, what are you going to persist in as the theme of this whole this book of Second Kings? Here we get this clear picture that a king, this person who is desperate, a less than ideal circumstance, was I thought a lot about this week, is that less than ideal circumstances are great excuses to have weird responses. Like the reason that I was harsh, or the reason that I wasn't gracious, or the reason that I didn't turn to God or wasn't humble. It's because like I have a long list of reasons. And the thing that is beautiful, poignant, important in this story is that the king wasn't in an ideal circumstance.
No.
But he really persisted
He
and not
was-
looking to God.
No, not at all. Didn't hump like it's interesting because the previous king, Ahab,
Yep.
like he's the worst.
Yep.
We're told he's the worst. So over and over again, even Ahab like
Mm.
humbled himself when he knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
But his son won't. He doesn't at all. He just keeps going. He doesn't pause to go, okay, maybe after the first 50 people died, I should think differently about this. He just keeps sacrificing people and not caring. Even, I mean, he said he did not think that the third captain was going to do anything different.
Yeah.
And he just sent him anyways.
Yeah. And really, probably the narrative would be if the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth captain didn't have enough fear to be humble, they would have had the same experience.
Same experience.
Yep. And so, I mean, extreme persistence and not looking or turning to God.
Yeah.
And not getting the scale of the circumstance or situation.
Yep.
I actually think one of my favorite, I think it might be one of my favorite gospel moments. I think it encapsulates the heart of Jesus really well in Matthew 26. So again, not an ideal circumstance for the disciples because of just, they were exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Just finished celebrating the Passover, went from triumphal entry just prior to that, preparing for the Passover, which we've done a Seder a few times, and apparently it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
They celebrate the Passover. Jesus in the Passover was stepped outside of their expected norm, which just kind of added to their exhaustion. He washes their feet. He again does the practice that we now celebrate in Holy Communion. He declares that one of them will betray them. They sing a hymn and they make their way to the Mount of Olives. They go down to the foot of Mount of Olives to the Garden of Gethsemane. And it's late. It's late. But just outside of city walls, the temple probably has a glow just in the middle of the night in front of them. And they're in this quiet, dark garden.
Yeah.
And Jesus says, again, that, my soul is overwhelmed to the point of death.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense declaration.
Yeah.
So stay here and keep watch with me. And so, not an ideal circumstance to be very focused on anything. They're so tired. So Jesus goes and he has this, again, moment of honest and raw prayer. And I feel like, again, the moment that I love so much about the story is that Jesus says, oh, Father, if it's possible, take this cup from me, but not my will, but yours be done. I love that declaration in that spot. And he goes back to the disciples and they were sleeping. And the narrative continues, they continue to fall asleep. But I think that the beauty of this story is that if the disciples knew the scale of that moment, wouldn't they have been more persistent?
Yeah, right.
And I just bring that to my own life. And I feel like, while I know that you're really good at being perceptive, well, I mean, that's what you say. No, but I feel like it's very, I think it's so easy to miss the scale of moments.
Yeah, I agree.
And, if it's because it doesn't seem very important, or it seems like it happens over and over again, or you're exhausted, it's been a busy week, time or season, all these things. And I think it sets us up to be persistent, to not have the urgency and connection with God as the moment is asking for. And so the king here, he's desperate and he persists in not turning to God. Here the disciples, they're just retired.
Yeah.
They didn't turn to God.
Yeah.
And so for us in less than ideal circumstances, how do we bring intentionality to look to God as opposed to look to everything, persisting and looking to everything else is really the question that hangs before us.
Stress. Like, I think there are a lot of times where there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of juggling, like slowing down I don't know if slowing down is the right word, but being persistent in those moments. It's really easy to persist at all the wrong things, I think, when we're really stressed. and when there's a lot of anxiety. And of course, this moment of Jesus is much bigger than like just normal stress and chaos. But I would say over and over again, it is easy and really stressful, high, intense moments to persist in the wrong things. Because I think in stress, it's like the natural, how are you naturally respond? Like your real stuff starts to come up. What do you naturally handle stressful situations? Well, if you want to know who you are, like that's when it shows up. And it's really easy to forget that, okay, like I am feeling really anxious and stressed right now.
Yeah.
I need to spend some time with the Lord. I need to like actually have a Sabbath and rest in him. And I need to rely. So that was something too we talked a lot about in the last few weeks is these transactional relationships and thinking of God as transactional. And we do these things to get something. And like something in my head has been clicking lately. It's like, it's not just about transactional, but it's also about relying on God. And do we do these things to trust more in God instead of trusting in ourselves? And like, is that part of the teaching moments that are happening in our lives? And I think in really high stress situations, it's so easy to trust the easy things instead of going, Lord, I need you.
Yeah. Like here, I mean, to put trust, like radical trust into Baal-Zebub.
Yeah.
As you zoom out, you go, that seems crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's
zoom into our own lives. And you, again, in a moment of less than ideal, you know, it's, again, we can put our trust in. I think a great one is self. A great one can be other people that are even trustworthy, but, you know, when is the moment that we go, hey, I'm actually going to wake up in this, and in the challenging, the important, but also the everyday, even in exhaustion.
How do I rest and know and rely
on God?
Rely on God.
Yep. So, we're going to do a quiz, and it's morphed a little bit over the week, but this quiz of all of these Christ-like traits or elements, and then the inverse kind of are sitting there. And I think we have to put effort into being Christ-like, give focus into being Christ-like. But when we don't put effort in, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
But it still will point to the importance of intentionality.
Yeah.
And intentionality is key to all this that we're talking about.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I like it.
We did it.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good day.